And he further mentions and says that muskurao, smile. People get angry. Anger is cheap. So make anger expensive and make smile cheap. And he mentioned this in several other talks of his, including in the dialogue, that don't make anger cheap, make anger expensive. I say, and I said that even in the dialogue, that make smile free. Why cheap? Make it free. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad said that even a smile is charity. And we get thawab for that. Smile. And he says that not that you should not get angry, but even if you find injustice being done, how can you get angry? When you get angry, you may lose your serenity. You may lose the control. And he's right that when you get angry, you may lose your self-control. You may lose the calmness. He says these things. But there, when someone questioned him on his book, Sri Ravi Shankar got angry. And that's the reason he did lose his school. Even I wanted to reply to many things, but I followed the verse of the Quran, Inna Allah ma sabri. Verily Allah is with those who do sabr. Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse 153, Allah says, Inna Allah ma sabrin. Verily Allah is with those who do sabr. So I have to do sabr. I was doing sabr because many things I want to reply. First of all, time was short. Secondly, it's out of topic. Third, I wanted to reply, but I was afraid that if I reply, Sri Ravi Shankar will walk from the dais. And I could see the moderator trying his level best to make him comfortable so that he sits and doesn't go, and the whole dialogue would have been disrupted. So I was doing sabr. Inna Allah ma sabrin. Verily Allah is with those who do sabr. But what he was propounding about the breathing technique and sudarshan Kriya, it wasn't working on the dialogue. And if you have a close look at the camera, you could see how he was discussing with the moderator that, what is this happening and this and that, and why are they talking, and you could see getting agitated and interrupting me in between my talk, in between my rebuttal, in between my answers, and I was saying, Inna Allah ma sabrin. Allah is with those who do sabr. So the sudarshan Kriya wasn't working there. The breathing technique wasn't working with the Guru, with Sri Ravi Shankar. I'm sorry, I just have to mention what is the haqq. As Allah says in the Quran, start my talk, and even the rebuttal with the verse of the Quran from Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 81, which says, وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَاقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. When truth is heard against falsehood, falsehood perishes. For falsehood is by its nature bound to perish. And further, Sri Ravi Shankar said that even as far as criminals are concerned, even the criminals, you have to be compassionate to them. You shouldn't hate them. Fine, I agree, we should be compassionate, but if someone does wrong, you have to correct him. You may have to criticize him. You may have to object. And he writes in one of his books, One God, One Truth, One World. One of his books I read, One God, One Truth, One World. He writes on page number 6 that many things in many religions were done at that time which was right then, but may not be relevant today. Many of the religions had certain rules and regulations which were relevant that time but may not be relevant today, and he gives the example. For example, the Quran says that if a person robs or steals, chop off his hand, which may not be relevant today. That's the example, which according to him may be. But in Islam, what we believe, that we have to be compassionate towards the criminal. At the same time, we have to be just. And Islam, besides speaking good things, Islam also shows a way how to achieve that state of goodness. All the religions, all the major religions say that you should not rob. Hinduism says that, Christianity says that, Islam says the same. But Islam shows you a way how to achieve that state in which people will not rob. Islam has a system of zakat, that is every rich person who has a saving of more than the nisab level, more than 85 grams of gold, he or she should give 2.5% of that saving every lunar year in charity. If every rich human being gives charity, poverty will eradicate from this world. There will not be a single human being who will die of hunger. But after this, Islam doesn't stop there. Islam takes care of the poor people, sees to that no one should rob. But Islam also says, if after this, if someone robs, Allah says in the Quran in Surah Maida, chapter number 5, verse number 38, as for the thief, be it a man or a woman, chop off his or her hand as a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, the law is they should not rob. Then to prevent robbery, everyone should have a decent living. The poor people should get charity from the rich people. Not that the rich people are doing a favor by giving zakat. It is a duty. After this, if someone robs, then chopping off the hand. And chopping doesn't mean if someone robs bread or food, his hand is chopped off. In the Islamic rule, there is a limit. That if he robs bread, that means it is the fault of the ruler of that country. It is the fault of the leader of that country. How come people are dying of hunger? Then his hand won't be chopped. If after he's taken care of, he's living, yet he wants to rob to have a luxurious living, to live in a 5-star, to see a movie or to have extravagant expense, then the problem is there. So if he robs a large amount, not if he robs bread or food, his hand has to be chopped off. You have to read the context and the details are given in the hadith. And if you only say do not rob, and if someone robs, what do you do? So if someone robs 1 lakh rupees, you are compassionate, oh no problem, very good. So he robs 2 lakh rupees. Then he robs 3 lakh rupees. So will there be peace? Will there be love?